Hi, my name is Brooke Jolly. The reason why I'm recording this, I've posted just a giant document dump to a lot of my friends on Facebook. They're kind of confused about what they're seeing, so I wanted to explain exactly what happened verbally as quick as I could so it wouldn't take reading everything. Sometime around December, I think it was December 22nd, so I've got the actual date somewhere. My child's school had a big performance where they had a child read a prayer off a podium that said Jesus is the only reason for Christmas, and then they had a bunch of religious songs and did all this other stuff, and then said at the very end of it that the donations that had actually been made at the door to go in were going to the principal's church. I made fun of it on Facebook because frankly I thought that it was ignorant and illegal, but I didn't go any further than that because at the time I'm going through a divorce. So my fear is that somebody at the school is going to actually do something that'll screw my child's custody up. So I don't report it. I typed something up even and almost did at the time, but then I didn't. My custody case comes around. The principal comes in. I hadn't spoken to him. I didn't even know he was going to appear as a witness. Steps on the stand and perjures himself repeatedly about my children's attendance at school, about who had been at school events, about who he had spoken to about things. Couldn't remember at all the 2 different times that we had met in his office to discuss that my children were missing so much school that they were truant, but it was happening when they were with my ex, and there was nothing I could do about that. Gets up there and says that I told him there was no way I could help them, when what I actually said was, I can't help with what's going on at her house, but anything I can do, I'll help you with. Says the opposite, just gets up there, just flat perjury. I sent him an email about how that was perjury. Then I contact the superintendent of schools saying, your principal got up on the stand, perjured himself. This other event that he had was illegal. Can you help me with this? Go back and forth. I asked for a copy of the unedited tape, which during the thing, he actually stood up there and said, I want to thank everyone for coming here tonight. Please don't leave without telling us you're leaving, which I thought was a kind of strange thing to tell us we aren't allowed to leave. Then went on to say that to thank everyone for the donations that were going to build his missionary school in Haiti, which isn't legal. Like there's no legal way to do it, because what you're doing is they did it at the middle school. They practiced it every day at school for a couple hours. My kids weren't singing a religious song. It's just there's so much religious content to it that it was obviously a breach of a lot of different laws. But I sent this to the superintendent of school. We go back and forth asking for an unedited copy of the tape. They sent me an edited copy of the tape, which doesn't have his little speech in it and is missing some of the other parts. But it still shows enough stuff that you can see that it's clearly illegal. Then, after emailing back and forth, they kept telling me they wanted me to come in by myself to meet with their attorney, the principal, and the superintendent of schools. And I said I wasn't comfortable without my attorney coming, and continued to try to schedule meetings with me, my attorney, and those people. Then they send me a cease and desist letter saying that I am harassing them. I hadn't made any phone calls to any of these people. I think I had sent, I had counted it earlier, I think it was 12 emails. So my 12 emails resulted in them sending me a cease and desist to not contact them any further, stating that I was actually trying to avoid meeting with them, which is an outright lie. So we've got the superintendent of schools having a lawyer from another town send a cease and desist to me that's flatly lying. Got the school principal getting up on the stand perjuring himself, all this other stuff, and nothing's happened about it. This has gone on since like June and July, since the last court event, where the school principal got on the stand and was cited as the judge. The judge cited him as the primary reason that my wife was granted primary custody of my children. Now I'm being told I'm impatient because I'm not going through the proper channels, when they actually have sent me cease and desist letters stating that I'm not allowed to contact them. They won't meet with me, wouldn't meet with me with my attorney present, and were avoiding meeting with me because they've broken a bunch of laws. I don't know how else to even explain it. I've got all the proof of it, and I'll attach it so that everyone can see it, because it is absolutely one of the biggest loads of crap I've ever seen. But I'm going to forward this around on YouTube for everybody to see. Please watch this and read the actual documents so you can see what they did. It had to do with my kids missed school 3 times as often and were legally truant when they were with my ex-wife. And the principal of the school came in and said he knew nothing about their attendance ever being bad, but he didn't talk to anybody other than my ex-wife. Didn't talk to me, that I was actually saying that I wouldn't help him. And I've got his court testimony typed up. I even had my attorney try to cross him about the attendance issues where he was lying. He still just couldn't remember anything. It's just a blank. Either he doesn't look at anything before he testifies in court, which is an absolutely absurd thing to think that an administrator at a school would do, especially knowing that the person that they're going into court about was someone that already noticed them embezzling money and said something about it on Facebook, which resulted in him coming and committing this perjury. He knew what he was talking about. It's just they don't want to admit it. But I'm going to attach all the documentation. You guys have fun reading it if you want to, but that's what actually happened. That's why there's a lawsuit, is because the principal of Northfield Elementary School, Kurt Droneburger, came into court and perjured himself to make me lose custody of my children to get them out of his school district. So have fun reading.